it's all about reference. You know, like I said, everything I do is documentative. To me, life is stranger than fiction. I researched the Library of Congress, Alan Lomax's archives, books, man, you know, just for these really forgotten shots, you know. Ones that I look at and I go, man, if I don't do this, nobody is ever going to see this. And it bugs me, you know. I search a bunch of photographs, man. I try to come up with just the right picture. And sometimes I can match the 10 to it like I want to. I did a picture of a little girl praying. So she's kind of like sitting at a table, you know, probably 40s, sitting at a table with her head bowed. You know, but she's kind of like, you know, like really praying hard for something. But I had that image for like a year, man. And finally, man, I ran across this tin that was just real rusted. And evidently it had been put like this, and just through time and water, these like rust streaks were coming in on it, just like licking her right on the arm, you know? And she's sitting there praying like this. It's just that marriage of that tin and that image. You couldn't paint it on a canvas, you know what I mean? It's got to be the tin. Like I said, punctualizing man's immortality, if you will. The misunderstood thing that we were talking about, you know, some people think it's folk art. You know, it's classicism. I'm just using tin for a ground. That doesn't constitute folk, you know. Folk may think that. Easily identifiable objects. Okay. You know, you draw a lamp. You draw it down. You make it look like it. That's classicism. A factual representation of your subject. You know what I mean? Cubism is not a factual representation. A good portrait would be. It's classicism, you know? Representation of what's there, you know? I mean, no distortion, no anything. Again, getting back to the documentative thing, that's why it has to be classicism. Now, I've done abstracts. I can do abstracts, you know? I mean, but life is stranger than fiction to me, you know. Anything more than I can invent. I mean, some of those pieces, like, you couldn't invent that. I could sit there. And now, Kenny, he compared me to Norman Rockwell, and if this is anything on the same thing as that, I mean, that's setting the bar awful damn high. You know what I mean? I'm 50. I'm not gonna live that much longer, you know. But that's classicism in the finest sense. In my artwork, it just kind of reflected the blues in it. I mean, being able to do both of them, merge them together. I mean, when I'm in my studio and stuff, I'm digging into some old, scratchy blues. And what's cool about it, man, is you're getting purist, and then you're getting, I'm a purist when it comes to the blues. I'll take that old barrel, you know, wax, man, that you can hear the pops, the scratches, everything. There's a certain ambiance, and it's always the argument, tape versus digital, you know. Tape's more warmer, you know, and all the digital maybe, anyway, cleaner, but there's different record companies out there. I think Yazoo's one of them, that a lot of this stuff, they'll give you the original recordings, or they'll give you the digitally cleaned up master of it, and you decide for yourself kind of deal. But man, I dig into those old blues while I'm doing portraits of them and stuff, and just that whole era. You take like Paris, France, man, late 1800s, early 1900s. You got the birth of impressionism that comes up through oppression. You know, all the galleries and all this stuff just was not the norm. But you can't stifle creativity. Not even 100 years later in the Mississippi Delta, you got the blues. You know, and it's just another art form. But that's you know, and I mean, I do a lot with schools and different things like that. I give workshops to art classes and music classes. One cool movement that's really going on in the high schools right now is a lot of the arts teachers are starting let the students listen to a certain music, a genre, while they do artwork kind of related to it. You know, so it's a whole kind of sensory, you know, thing going on, and that's exactly what I do. You know, I'm kind of known for, you know, if somebody wants to commission me to do a Ray Charles piece, guess what kind of music I'm gonna be listening to when I do Ray Charles? You know, you just immerse yourself in it. You know, and that's what I do anyway.
The final finale.